Hi, Penny with Sage Butterfly Designs. It is June 29th. I know I just did a video the other day, but I want to go ahead and do a whip and finishing parade for quarter 2. I did it for quarter 1 for that was in April. It was actually the beginning of April. Is FlossTube number 23. So if you want to go back and watch that, you're welcome. So let's start with my finishes that I was working on in April that I showed in that video, but at that point they were whips. Let me show you the finishes of those. The first one is Teresa Kogut's Freedom. I did leave the bird off, but I have that all finished up. The next one is Bunny Garden by Stitching with the Housewives. And this is on a flat fold. This one was finished by the Vintage Stitcher. I did not finish this one. I'm not going to try to take claim of two. I did finish the Freedom though. I finished this one. But I did not finish a flat fold. I still have not learned how to do a flat fold yet. I'll learn now. I'm getting there. But this is, it'd be helpful if I pulled it in more, wouldn't it? I don't remember all the stitch counts and everything else. I'll do the best I can with the finished ones. I didn't keep records of it. So this one is a 32 count. I believe it was called Lavender Mist by Fabric Flare. And that is that one. This one was, I want to say 14 count oatmeal. Okay, we'll stop going back and forth now. I'm making you dizzy. The next one was the Spring was Stitching with the Housewives Seasons, and I did this finishing as well. And this is on a 28 count thin pine board fabric that was included in the kit. Let's see, I was working on Eggcellent, which is a free pattern by Glendon Place. And I thought it turned out really cute. This is a finishing by Vintage Stitcher. I'm not happy with it. I'm going to be tearing it apart and fixing it. I wanted it to be more of an oval stand up. And I said a weighted stand up pillow, and it doesn't stand up at all. The weight is back here instead of at the bottom. So it's not working right. So I'll be refinishing this one, but it's still finished for now. Got plenty of time to get that finished. The next one is Bulb by Shepherd's Bush. And that, I want to say, is on a 16 count, maybe 14 count, possibly an 18. I don't know. Some kind of Ada, obviously. Yeah. But that is Bulb by Shepherd's Bush, and I did do the finishing on this one as well. And the other one that I had mentioned in the last video that I finished is this one here, which is Flowers for Fall by Little Stitch Girl. And I started the finishing, I just haven't completed it. I painted this little acorn, a little Dollar Tree acorn. And I made sure that, of course, I took this with me to pick out the colors. So the colors match. And this is on a 14 count. I don't know, 14 count something. But you can see it's like marbled. Like a marbled fabric. I don't remember what it was called. I'm sorry. But it will be posted onto here. And I matched up the brown for this part and the green for this. And it's going to be so cute once I get it finished. It's halfway finished, partially finished. I don't know. And since I'm starting with finishes, let's put a play on that and show you the ones that I've started and finished since the April video. So the first one is Honey Boulevard. It's just a piece of the pattern of Honey Boulevard, and I put it on a paisley and polka dots little stand. So I did finish this one. Let's see, my finishing is getting a little bit better. And I finished Lady Liberty by Blackbird Designs. And this is my first drum. I went to a drum class the end of last month. Hello, it's still June, Penny. On Friday, I went to a finishing class to learn how to finish this drum. And it is just so adorable. I love it. And I just put some patriotic kind of themed fabric on the top and the bottom. So I'm like really happy about my drum because it's my first time doing anything like that. So I'm really happy with that one. Next I did Twirl by October House. And sorry, we're going to go back and forth again because obviously I can't keep things straight. I do have everything written down in the description. So if I do forget and not catch myself, it's down there. This is on Blueberry 18 count blue cashmere HAED. I don't know who it's by. And then Twirl is on 18 count fabric flare patriotic combination material. But it's Twirl by October House, and it was a free design on the October House website. So if you want to get that. And I did that finishing. I started and finished Honey Faire. And this one is done on 16 count blueberry milkshake. And obviously it needs to be ironed again. And I am planning on making this into a pillow with this fabric. I thought that would just pull out that honeycomb or hive, whatever. But that's going to be the back of my pillow. So I still have to make it into a pillow. So I've got a plan, it's just not done. All right. And next was Summertime by Elizabeth Designs, I believe it was. So I got that one done, and that is on a 14 count tiled cloth, but I'm not sure who it's by. Probably Fabric Flare since it's not on the back, because it's not all the way through. And that one, obviously, I haven't finished. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing with it is part of the problem. And then the last one is Freebie by Silver Creek Samplers. And I did finish this one myself. So yeah, quite a bit of finishes. I'm happy to see that. Okay, on to my whips, and I am going to start with the whips that I had in the April video. And there's Bo Feet. Anybody who's wondering what Bo's doing, he's just sleeping right there. He's always around, right? Oh, goodness. Okay, grab these. All right, so I'll do the best I can to get all the information out about these things, but I might forget some things. I have notes over here, so I'm going to try to remember everything. All right, first one I have not touched in this month. But I'll just remind you because it is a whip, so we're just going to play with it. That's my Heaven and Earth design. Story Keep Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And that is the pattern. And then since that pattern is so small, here's a bigger one so you can actually see it better. So very long and big. And you will see I'm like right here, not even all the way across. Yeah. So here is my progress. Well, it hasn't been touched. So it's the exact same spot as it was before. Yeah. I said I was going to put it in timeout for the quarter, so I wasn't expecting any progress on it. I'm going to try to do something with it maybe in August. In August, I'm going to concentrate on some of my bigger projects. And I started this in February of 22. This is my oldest WIP. All right, next is my chatelaine Tinctorium. And here is the computer mock-up of it. The centerpiece right here is part 1. And here is a picture of somebody else's stitched version. Shows more color in the beads and stuff a lot better. But again, this is part 1, which is where I am at. And I started this in June of 2022. And this is where I'm at. Same place as before, because this one was in timeout for the last quarter. But it is absolutely stunning. I love it. I love the little animals on it. And I'm hoping bringing it out inspires me to pick it back up again. After taking so long to stitch this top band, I was like, okay, to have to stitch it again and again and again is where my issue lies. I like it like that, but then when I'm like, oh, I gotta stitch it again and again and again, that's where it kind of, I'm like, I'm just putting it down. So my plan is to pick it back up in August and do some more on it. But that's exactly where it was last time because I hadn't done anything on it. And this is on 28 count pewter lugana. And my full coverage one is on 18 count gridded, and I'm doing full cross. Okay, on to things I actually stitched on, because, you know, yeah. Floral Dream by Nora Corbett. This is the pattern. And I'm going to put a picture right here showing where I was in the April video, so that you can compare it to where I am at now, which is here. So it is getting close to a finish. I started this one in, let's see, I started it in August of 2022. This is on 28 count Blueberry by Crossed Wing Collection. And what I have left is the smaller side here and then the beading. So it's within, the end is within sight. I shouldn't say like the end, I'm just saying the finish, because, you know, it's always exciting to have the finish. So yeah, so it's in. Okay, my next one's another Nora Corbett, and that is Santa's Sleigh. And I started this in November of 2022. Here's a picture of where I was in April. And we'll compare that to where I am now. So I got a good amount of progress on it. I didn't touch it this last month because I know that I'm doing Christmas in July. So it's going to get a lot of love in July. So we'll see some good progress on it for the next quarterly review. Obviously, you can follow along and see my progress as we go through the months. But for my quarterly review, I'm excited to see how much progress I get with that one. All right, now we're going into this year's starts WIPs. Those are my 3 left over from last year, or my 4 left over from last year. Yeah, there was 4. This is my New Year's. Teresa made me do it start of Mirabilia, and this is Lavender Mist. And I am doing this for my best friend's, hopefully for her birthday, but that's December 8th, so I don't know if it's going to be done then or not. That's the goal. Whether or not it happens or not, I don't know. Popping in a picture of, yeah, where I was in April. And here I am now. So I did complete that first whole section. This past since April. This is so encumbersome here. Okay, there we go. Since April, it was like right here. And this was the first part of the page. And then this was the bottom section of the page. And I got this whole bottom section done. And at first I'm like, this is just taking forever. I don't know why I can't get this done. Then I realized this is completely full coverage. The few little blank spots that you see there will be beads. But this is full coverage. No wonder it's taking me forever. But just the bottom part is full coverage. I mean, and that's where I started. So now I'm about right here. Wrong side, Penny. This side. So I'm about right here. About from her waist to her fingers are done. That portion is done. So this next time I'll be picking up this side. I've got a little bit of the green and then all that turquoise. And again, that's all full coverage. But once I get that done, I should be able to pretty much fly through the rest of it. So I'm going to stick with my bottom route and keep going across the bottom and get that done. And that way I can go up to the top. And a lot of the top up here is going to be beading. So at any rate, I feel like I've gotten a pretty good amount of progress on that. And I didn't tell you, again, as usual. All right, I did tell you that it was a New Year's Eve start. This is on 32 count Aurora. That's what this fabric is called. 32 count Aurora by Silk Weaver. All right, now let's get on to the next one. This one is Christmas Eve by Cottage Garden. I love this pattern. I love the Santa. I love the colors in it. I love he's not old. He's like a younger Santa, and I love that about him. And then the fabric I picked, I truly love even more than the pattern, I think. I don't know. It's a tie. But this fabric is, and I should be showing you that because I need to show you the progress photo. I'm just all over the place, peeps. Sorry. Okay, so here's where I was. I just had the red part of the jacket complete, it looks like, or mostly complete. And then here's where I'm at now. I got all that fur done up. That pattern in it, oh, so pretty. And this is 32 count Twilight Cashel linen. And I started this in January. I love this linen. I love this deep color. Just making these colors pop. I can't wait to do, all these colors are just so gorgeous on this fabric. I guess I don't know which I love more, the pattern or the fabric. I love it so much. And I did give it a break for June because, again, Christmas in July, so it's going to get a lot of love in July. So I am looking forward to stitching on this one again. All right, my second chatelaine, which is Summer Fairy, and this is her. Part 1 was this, and I had that complete for April. And part 2 is the fairy with her wings, the ribbons, the grass. So this right here is part 2. which is where I had just started in April. Here's a picture, and I had just her skin, a little bit of her done, but not very much. So here I am. Here's my progress. So she is now complete, and that her face, all of her skin, well, some of her skin isn't, most of her skin, definitely her face, and some of her hair is all 1/1. And then the specialty stitches inside of her dress, I don't know if you can see them or not. And I just need to do some back stitching in her wings, and then part 2 will be complete. So that will definitely get completed. Oh, and all the apples are 1/1 as well. So yeah. And this is on 32 count Chesapeake Wexford Lugana. And I started this in February of 2022. So she's coming right along. I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying her more than the other chatelaine because I'm not having to repeat the same thing over and over and over. It's like you stitch it, you're done. You stitch it, you're done. And I think that works out better for me. So I'm kind of worried about that other chatelaine because it's so big and so long, and it needs the love. But at the same token, I don't like stitching the same thing over and over and over again. So I've got to get over that, I guess. But at any rate, next on the list is Summer Acorns by the Blue Flower. And here's where I was in April. And here's where I'm at now. So I did have, try to hold this with one hand and point with the other. I did have the stem and everything, but I went ahead and I completed the flowers and some of the acorns. I don't think I had the acorns in there either. And then I got a whole another section done. So I have 2 more vines to get done. And then that will be complete. So the end is within sight, and I didn't touch it at all in June. I don't know why, just because I had too many other projects to work on, and I was doing a new thing where I was doing 3 days of a project, 3 days with a project, and then 2 free days, and I just didn't get to this one. So it needs some more love. So those are the ones that I had in April, and the progress that I've made on them. So now we're going to go to the patterns that I've started since April that are now my whips. So the first one is the Cricut Collection Beach. And I am almost done with it. Here it is. I need to do a shell in here and a seagull, and then add my buttons, and I am done. So hopefully this will be a July finish. It should be. I did change out the colors of the letters. As you see on here, they're very hard to see. So I went with a little bit more. I just grabbed some weeks and threw them in there to make them more vibrant. So beach is almost done. And this is on, let me try to keep up with this, 18 count raw by Stitched Modern. And I started this April 10th. Next one is Autumn Bee by the Blue Flower. This is a special, it's an exclusive, not special, it is an exclusive pattern to Silver Needle, and it was part of a club that I'm in called the Stitching with Friends Circle or something like that. At any rate, they send a kit a quarter. and I think they get it for a year, and I think this autumn it'll be up. So if anyone is wanting this pattern, the Blue Flower will probably be releasing it this autumn. But here's my bee. That's her progress. So she's coming right along. And I started this one on the 17th of April. And that one's also on the 18 count raw. The next one I'm doing is this one right here, and that is called Lily of the Valley by Blackbird Designs. And this is going to be a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. And that is where I'm at the very bottom. And I'm doing one strand over 2 on this 32 count platinum lugana. And it called for Weeks Dye Works. And I started this on the 1st of May. On the 2nd of May, I started Crab Dance by Tiny Motorist. And this was one of the Nashville releases, and I loved it. It was so cute. And here's my progress on it. And I am most likely going to be doing a restart on it. I screwed up the count. I'll admit it. And I was like, well, I could just fudge it along. And then it's like, so I have notes on my PDF. It's like, delete a line here, move this over there, because my count is screwed up. I usually don't start with a border, and I started with the border. And as you notice, if you look here, there's like 2 squares between each one of these, except this one. There's only 1 square in the bottom, and it's supposed to be the 2 squares. So, I don't know. I guess I could just take this off and move it down a square, but then all of this needs to code too, because this is all wrong. So, it's a matter of, do I try to rip out and do this, or do I just start over? It's probably just going to be a restart. I don't know. So, every time I pull it out, I pulled it out once this month, and I pulled it out, and I was like, I saw all my notes of delete this line and stuff like that, because of course you put it down and have to pick it up again, and I'm like, where am I deleting? Why am I deleting? What? How's that going to mess with the pattern if I delete this line out? I looked at this line and I figured I could probably delete it out, but everything's still going to line up okay? Is it? Just start over. It's not that big of a pattern, and this was a scrap piece. Just throw it away. Start over. It's a DMC, so it's not anything to where I'm worried about the threads being too expensive or anything. So yeah, this is probably going to be a restart. So if you don't see it again for a while, that's why. And my last one is Cinnamon Stars by Plum Street. And I had tried to start it on it was Vintage Country Mocha 25 count. And I tried it over 2, I tried it over 1. I just could not get the fence right here. Was like all just, yeah, there's a fence right there. It was just all going into the fabric. You couldn't, it wasn't standing out. I mean, it's barely standing out on here, so I had to point it out to you, and I don't even know how well it's showing up on the camera anyway. But I just had an awful time with it. I tried it over 1, I tried it over 2, I just couldn't get it to work to my liking. So I ended up putting it on 28 count Hocus Pocus, and I love it now. And this is 28 count, and I started this on the 9th of May. And as you see, I got the stars on the top part done, and I'm starting up on the house. So I'm really liking that. I like it now that it's on this fabric. So this fabric totally made it. So that is where we're at with that. So on my stitching journey, I fell into the rabbit hole, like Christine Stitch All the Things, of wool applique. Yeah. So I ordered my first kit from Buttermilk Basin, and this one right here. So that is the pattern. And I did my first wool applique. The blanket stitches aren't perfect. My feather stitches are really sad. But all in all, it is good. My buttons are a little wonky. But I'm happy with it. It's homemade. It's supposed to look homemade. It's my rustic one. That's what we're going to call it. Rustic one. That'll cover it. So I did well with that. And then I had ordered the punch needle cross stitch magazine thing. And I was like, well, even though this is a punch needle design, why can't I take those pieces out and make it into a wool applique? Especially when they give you the pieces. So I'm like, let's try it. So I cut out the pieces and I've ironed them on, and I need to stitch it. But there's that one. And I also found this one that I liked, called Apples and Jack. And here is my wool applique version of it. So I have my wool cut and put on here, and I just need to do my stitches. So I'm excited about that. So we'll see if my stitches don't look a little bit better this time, and continue on. So it's nice to do some different stitches than just the X's in cross stitch. So I'm having fun with it right now, and that's all that matters. My hardanger, my hardanger isn't going that well. It's just so detailed, and right now I can't handle that much detail. I've got too much going on in life to deal with that much details. So I just couldn't go with that. So how do I feel about my Q2 progress? I'm actually really pretty happy with it. I got quite a few finishes. I was able, right now I've got 13 whips, if you were counting them, to include Crab Dance, which is probably going to end up being a restart, and Fairy Tale, my full coverage one. Don't know if it's going to stick around or not. I don't know. So 2 of those 13 are but I do want to keep my whips under 15. That's manageable to me, and enough for me. I've had enough finishes to keep me motivated and let me explore different ways to finish things and learn that. Q3 plans. I'm going to do Christmas in July, like I said. And I also want to try to finish Beach and Floral Dream, touch on a few of the other ones as well. I want to get part 2 done of Summer Fairy. So I've got some other things mixed in with the Christmas. I'm planning on doing like Santa for 3 days, work on Christmas present, any Christmas present, work on that for like a day or 2, and then work on some ornaments, because I've got some ornament kitted up to where I can work on ornaments. And then I'll do a free day or 2, and that way I can mix it up. So I'm excited about that. For August, I want to concentrate on my larger ones and try to get some progress on some of those that seem to, that's why I say Tink and my full coverage might get some love then. September, I'll probably switch into some fall or whatever. I'm not really sure. September's too far away for me to think of right this moment. But I have a giveaway. I haven't done a giveaway in a while. So subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment with which numbers you're wanting. Where did I put those? Hold on. Okay, so leave a comment with the number of the item that you want. And all of these patterns I've stitched, but I scan them into my iPad and use GoodNotes. So these patterns are like brand new. If you want and I will ship them anywhere, so anybody can enter photos. All right, the first one is Bunny Garden by Stitching with the Housewives. So that's number 1. Number 2 is Freebie by Silver Creek Samplers. Number 3 is Tired Trio by Plum Street Samplers. Number 4 is the Blue Flower Seasons of the Heart Autumn. Number 5 is Flowers for Fall. That's by Little Stitch Girl. And number 6 is the Spring Season, Stitching with the Housewives. There we go. So, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Give me some encouragement. I'm looking forward to some Christmas stitching, something different. Because that's, well, I mean, I've got a couple of Christmas ones going, but just, I hadn't pulled them out for a month, so now it's going to be like, they're new. Even though they're not new, but as well as some ornaments and some other new things. So I'm looking forward to some July stitching, especially in this heat. Oh my gosh. We have a heat advisory warnings. We're going to be in triple digits for the next like 5 days. Yeah, I've got weddings, of course I do. But they're in the morning or in the evening, so I'm smart enough not to schedule anything in the middle of the day. They're like, oh, can we do it 2 o'clock? No, we cannot. Not happening. People just don't think. They've had no, of course they're coming from Ohio or wherever, so it's like they have no concept of triple digit heat indexes that we have here. Yeah, so, but thank you for joining me on my stitching journey, and I will see you in the next video.